Alright, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, Urs Kalecinski, the winner of the Classic Physique category at the 2022 first ever Boston Pro. This has been a hell of a year for Urs Kalecinski so far. Third place at the Arnold Classic, defeating Breon Ainsley, which was huge for him. And this was a big win for him. I think it was a relatively easy win for Urs. He was by far, I think, the standout of this Classic Physique lineup. And it was really good to see him do well. He's really a guy that I think a lot of people can get behind. I think a lot of people are fans of this guy. He's got the look. He's got the Classic Physique that a lot of people really appreciate. He's kind of reminiscent of Chris Bumstead. So I wanted to make sure I put that in the beginning of this video, because when I was watching the stream last night, I was watching the Men's Open Finals, and I quit watching the stream after that because I thought Classic Physique, I must have missed it or something. But for some reason, they did the Classic Physique Finals after Men's Open Bodybuilding, which, if you guys are not familiar, pretty much every single bodybuilding show, regardless of what categories it has, they save Men's Open Finals for the very, very last. Like, that's the big thing that everybody's waiting for. But at this show, they saved Classic Physique for the end. So I was waiting last night, and I was like, I haven't seen the Classic Physique results. I turned off the stream after Men's Open Bodybuilding, and apparently they did Classic after Men's Open, which I don't think has ever been done at a show. To have Classic Physique as the very last thing, even after Men's Open Bodybuilding. So that's big for Classic Physique, and that says a lot about how many people were watching that stream wanting to see the Classic results. And maybe this is a sign of things to come. I mean, there's been this debate of Classic Physique versus Men's Open Bodybuilding. Is there ever a chance that Classic could be the most popular division? And maybe this is a sign that is kind of going in that direction. But it was cool to see, and I wanted to congratulate Urs first thing in this video. Now, secondly, I wanted to look at the scorecards for Men's Open Bodybuilding at the Boston Pro, because those just came out. So there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about here. First of all, William Bonac versus Justin Rodriguez. I thought it was noteworthy here that they were just as close as Bonac and Brandon Curry were at the Arnold Classic. So Justin lost to Bonac by the same margin that Bonac lost to Brandon. Exactly 6 points. Bonac won with 6, and Justin took second with 12. So I thought that was interesting, that it was basically the exact same margin as the Arnold, which I think is huge for Justin Rodriguez, because William Bonac is arguably, well, he is one of the best bodybuilders on the face of the planet right now. I don't think there's any denying that. The version of Bonac that we've seen lately, he's back to his usual self. He's back to being at the top. So for Justin, a guy that's kind of been, in the past couple of years, kind of more of a mid-tier bodybuilder, he's really moved up over the past few shows that he's done. And I think this is a really huge accomplishment. Obviously, he wanted to win the show, but I think second by that margin is huge for him. So congratulations to Justin and Bonac both. We also got the placings here for 6th and 7th. Phil Klahar wound up taking 6th, and Regan Grimes wound up taking 7th place. So I did want to clarify something here. A lot of people felt like I was pretty harsh on Regan in the last video, the finals recap. I was talking about how he was off. I was talking about managing your expectations. And the reason for that, I wasn't trying to rag on Regan Grimes, but the point that I was really trying to make is that we've set the bar for Regan really, really high, because we all do love his physique so much, or at least I speak for a lot of us, I think. We're a fan of his physique. He brings something different to Men's Open Bodybuilding. He's got fantastic lines. He's aesthetic. It's not what you usually see in Open, and for that reason, I'm a huge fan of his. The point that I was trying to make in the finals video, when I said, I saw a comment that said, not every bodybuilder is not their birthright to go on and win the Olympia. Not every bodybuilder is going to win every show. The point that I'm trying to make with that is because there are so many fans of Regan Grimes. The hype for him has been so big. The bar for him has been set so high. And honestly, I got more messages after the finals of the Boston Pro asking about Regan Grimes. What happened to Regan? Where did he place? What went wrong? Than any other competitor in that lineup. That's how big Regan is. That's how big his footprint is in the bodybuilding world. People love him. So the point that I was trying to make is maybe he's not going to win every show. Maybe he's not going to win the Olympia or the Arnold or one of the big ones. And that's okay. I think we've set the expectation really high for Regan. So my point was, we need to manage those expectations and not necessarily be so upset when he takes 6th or 7th at a good show, because maybe that's just what's going to happen. We can still be a fan of Regan without him winning these shows. That's kind of the point. Now, obviously, I want to see Regan win big shows. I want to see Regan do well. I'd love to see him win a show like the Arnold or the Olympia. But my point is, maybe he won't, and that's okay. So we need to just lower our expectations a little bit, because this is kind of what we've seen through the trajectory of Regan's career. There's been a lot of ups and downs, and we followed him through all that because we're fans of his physique, but maybe not get so disappointed when we see some placings that are a little bit outliers. I mean, he went from winning shows, placing top 2 towards the end of last year, to these 2 placings, which weren't that great. So again, I love Regan. I love his physique, and he's a really nice guy. So if it was too harsh on Regan, I do apologize. The point that I was just trying to make was manage our expectations. So he wound up in 7th here. Now, next up in the news, let's go from bodybuilding to strongman to fighting. So first of all, we've got a clip of the first confrontation of Hafthor versus Eddie, where apparently everyone that's sharing this clip is saying that in the clip, Eddie spits on Thor. Personally, it was hard for me to see, it was hard for me to actually see him spit, is what I'm saying. But first, I want to share Hafthor's recent post. So it looks like the fight is on as of right now. So they're both in Dubai, which is where the fight is happening. Thor says he saw Eddie today. He's injury-free, so there's no excuses not to show up on March 19th. So he's still mentioning those excuses, but they are both in Dubai. He says the fight is on, and there's a new video up on my YouTube channel. So other than Thor's post yesterday where he said Eddie is already making excuses, no other reason right now to believe that the fight is off. They're both there. It seems like there's a lot of people there from both teams in Dubai. So I'd imagine the fight would go on. Anything could happen, I guess. But as of right now, the fight will go on, and it is free, which I think is the biggest part of this. That's the coolest part of this whole thing. So let's go ahead and look at this video here. So Eddie and Thor, well, it looks like Thor is already in this boxing gym in Dubai. Eddie walks in with his crew. Thor is in there with his crew. And they start exchanging words. They see each other. They're talking. They're yelling. But it seems the thing that pops it all off is what everybody is saying, where Eddie spits on Thor. And apparently that's what causes them to try to swing at each other, and they're pushing through the crowd trying to get to each other. That was the big apex of this whole confrontation. So I'll go ahead and roll that full clip for you guys right here.
I look like shit. Have you seen yourself? You look like a fat pig. Gentlemen. Yeah, come on. Save it for the ring. Look at your eyes, you fucking scat like a bunny. Fuck you. Step outside, I'll fucking tell you. Let's go. Let's go, pussy. Yeah, let's fucking go. Are you fucking pussy? There you go. Look at you. Fucking. Come on, you fucking pussy on it. Fuck you. I fuck you fucking son. Fuck you piece of shit. I'm not fuck right now. Fuck you. Stop right now. Fuck. Yeah, come on. Fuck you. God.
So yeah, that's the clip. Let me know what you guys think of it. Give me your predictions in the comments below. Who's going to win, Eddie or Hafthor? And again, the fight is on March 19th. It will be free on Segi TV. Let me know if you're watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet already. As always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.